Recruiter here, the headless headhunter, getting you ahead of your job search by reviewing your resumes. The resume we have up first is, actually, this is incorrect. This is a machine learning engineer with a little bit of a focus on computer vision, so we can add computer vision to this. So what we're looking for is degree, machine learning, LLM, models, NLP, generative AI, Python, R, C++, Cloud SQL, TensorFlow and PyTorch. Those are huge. Those are the big ones. Scikit, SkibbityLearn, whatever you want to call it. Pandas, NumPy. LangChain is really good. RAG, customer-facing, stakeholders, clients, and be the subject matter expert, along with a couple of other random bonus ones. So those are for very niche roles. And can we find it in 20 seconds, which is all the time recruiters have to look at your resume? Let's find out. And go. Okay, Python, OpenV. Okay, good. Okay, don't care. Integrated Hugging Face. Okay. Why do you have this CUDA and GPU stuff? Python is good, but you already mentioned it. And you have this, everything's about error rate. Okay, AWS can be good. 30% and then nothing. PyTorch. Okay, so we ran out of time. Is this a bad resume? Yes, but it's not the worst resume, right? I know you're expecting me to say worst resume I've ever seen. No, it's not. It's not the worst resume I've ever seen. It's not a great resume, but it's not a terrible one. This is probably like a 1 in 75, 1 in 100, which is the application ratio. So that is how many applications it takes to get an interview. And ideally, you want less than 50. This person is 100. So again, not the worst, but not great. So recent grad in California. I've been trying to new grad level roles with AI ML focus and especially computer vision. So first off, there's nothing here that reads computer vision. Again, I see the title. It's not the title I'm looking for. It's the qualifications. Where is the actual computer vision? Okay, it's all the way down here. So your big problem is you're looking for a job as a fresh grad. That is always going to be the hardest job search of your life. Bear, come here. Stop chewing on your toy so loud that the people can hear it at home. Come here. So that is always going to be the hardest job search of your life. The next thing is you just don't have enough stuff. So you kind of filled your resume with like 300 hours of raw footage and CUDA and cuDNN to annotate and classify, achieving labeling accuracy. And it's just, that's not something they're really going to care about, right? Like what I'm looking for is this stuff. So I found some of it, right? Like I found Python. That's good. I found LLM at least, right? So that's good. We can do that. I don't think I found much of everything else besides cloud. So I took out cloud. So is there anything else I'm missing that you had? You had NumPy and Pandas, which is fine. But I really would have liked TensorFlow and PyTorch. That seems much more common. And that's it. So if you notice, this is still missing from your resume. You don't have to worry about the bonus stuff. The bonus stuff is nice to have. If you don't have the bonus, that's fine. So, but the thing is, I need 75% of this to move you forward, and I only found about 20 or 30%. In fact, I think one of the bigger issues is you were looking for specifically, you said a AI machine learning engineer. Where's the machine learning? Again, titles are not as important as people say. Here it is. This is the first time you actually mentioned machine learning. The bullet points themselves are what is actually the important part. This is why skill sections don't count. This is why profile sections don't count unless you're explaining a couple of things, but that's rare. Not everybody needs that. I need to see it in the bullet point, right? Like if you say built a machine learning Python classification system using NumPy, Pandas, and PyTorch, that would be great. I don't care about this, right? Like, I still don't even know why that's important. So, why was it important that you did this? I don't know, but 300 hours doesn't matter. Everybody tries to throw in these percentages and numbers, and realistically, you don't want that. The more numbers you have, the worse your resume. Unless you're in sales or you're in like a director role. They need numbers. But for everybody else, like accountants, ironically, HR reps, software engineers, y'all are all the same. You don't want the numbers. You do need it for your like length of time. That is true, but you don't want it in the actual bullet point. So you're having issues because you just don't have enough. The fact that you are getting 1 in 100 instead of 1 in 150 is because you have some of what we're looking for, and you wrote it mostly correct, right? Like, I would want you to write it like this. I'm not looking for this in particular, but if this was replaced with something I actually care about, it would be good. And like this, but you ruined it by putting percentages and just, again, not enough. Like, I need people to understand that a resume is specific. A resume is job title specific, right? It's not individual job. You don't want to remake it every time because that lowers your chances, but you want to make it based on your job title. And for a machine learning engineer or a machine learning engineer with computer vision, you are going to need this stuff, including the stuff that I already took out because you already had it. And I need more of this stuff and less of GPU acceleration and CUDA and error rates. So you need more of the good stuff and less of the bad stuff. But that's kind of all I can do with this, is because it just does not have enough stuff. It's just not. It's kind of half-baked. So before I go to the next resume, please like, comment, and subscribe. It does help me out. And, share the video if people need help. I'm glad to help them. And if you ever need more help, you can go onto my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter, where I go over and find these qualifications to help you all out. So let's go to the next resume. This is the resume of a QA automation engineer that docs themselves. So I cannot scroll past this page. Please don't dox yourself. Please, 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 please. Just, it's on my website. Remove all the information that you do not want shown, but you must remove your phone number, your name, your email, and your LinkedIn profile, all right? So what we need in a QA automation engineer in the United States, I do not recruit outside the United States, it could be different outside the US, is your degree, automation testing, REST APIs, RESTful API testing, UI, QA, Agile, Post, Playwright, SpecFlow, Cypress, Selenium, Appium, Cucumber, Cloud, one coding language, so C#, TypeScript, whatever, Git, CI/CD, so Jenkins and GitLab, and again, I need to see both Git and GitLab, because if Java and JavaScript are different, which they very much are, then it's entirely probable that Git and GitLab could be different. That is a level of technical knowledge you cannot expect the other person to know. Cross-functional, and the big one, ability to communicate technical information to non-tech people. So let's see if I can find it, and go. All right, well, I scrolled a little bit far down, but it's fine because I can't use anything here. Okay, developed a full-stack web application in what? Oh, my anime list. That's great. I like my anime list, but that's not relevant for this. Nothing is relevant here. Okay, I've seen so far literally zero. Oh, here it is, RESTful API. Okay, or REST API. And that's it. That's it. I found one thing. Again, I cannot use anything that's here. I am aware that this, right, is here. I cannot use it if it's in a skills section. It needs to be written here. So this would definitely get rejected. And this person said, well, in India, there is only something.com and LinkedIn. Well, okay. Anyway, this would definitely not work because you show me you've gotten absolutely nothing. You have actually some of the stuff for a full stack software developer, but you specifically said QA automation engineer. And if I'm hiring a QA automation engineer, I don't care that you have full stack. I just need to know one of the things that you've written, like TypeScript or JavaScript. But where's the RESTful APIs? You had REST APIs, but not RESTful APIs. Where's the UI? I think I actually did see UI, so there's two of them. So where's the Agile? Where's the Postman, Playwright, SpecWrite, Cypress, Selenium, Cloud, automation testing in general, CI/CD, Jenkins, GitLab, Git, cross-functional, and the ability to communicate technical information to non-technical people. So while I think it is cool that you developed a full-stack web application to search and explore anime, just like, Anacharts or whatever it's called, for my anime list APIs, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for anything in there. I'm looking for REST API. I'm looking for RESTful APIs. I'm looking for one of the coding languages you used in full stack, but you have to mention it. You cannot just say backend. Okay, what language? It is very specific. This stuff right here will get you a job if it's in here. It has to be in here. You cannot use a skills section. Nothing in a skills section counts. Let's go to the next resume. this is, I don't know, you didn't tell me. This person was not specific. So what I'm going to be doing is rolling a 6-sided die. And whatever it goes on is what we are going to assume this software engineer is. So, software engineers are divided into stacks. Are there more than these stacks? Yes, but these are the most 5 common stacks you will get, which is full stack, backend Python, backend Java, backend C#, and .NET, and front end. So if you are not tailoring your resume to one of these stacks, you are probably not going to get an interview, because every company is going to want one of these 5. Are there language agnostic roles? Yes, there are. I am working for some companies that do actually want a language agnostic engineer, but that is more of an AI thing, and it's very rare. Most companies are going to want you to have one of these. So, what are we reviewing this as? Number 5, this is a front-end developer. Is it actually a front-end developer? You didn't tell me. You got to tell me. You need to be specific. Every single job seeker needs to be specific. A broad, generalized resume is the way to get rejected across multiple industries. So, this is what we need for a front-end software engineer. JavaScript, React, Angular, HTML, CSS, PHP, SQL, Scrum, Agile, RESTful API, SEO, Git, Docker, Jira, Node.js, Vue, Next, and extra language, Cloud, UI, UX, SASS, TypeScript, and WordPress as a bonus. So I don't know what candidate is. I assume that's some kind of reference that I am probably past my time and I'm not aware of it, but even when I was young, I was not up to date with a lot of stuff anyway. So if somebody can let me know what that is, I would also appreciate it, but let's see if they have it. And go. All right. Nothing here. It's good that you have it, but I don't care about the rest of that part. Enterprise scale database. Why do I care about InfluxDB or timescale? Fault tolerant, highly variable. I don't need that. Kubernetes could be useful for Java and a couple of others. And CI pipelines could be useful. And that's it. There we go. That's it. This was definitely getting rejected. So this person said, I am applying to jobs. Is that it? Is that all you wrote? Okay, that's all they wrote. Well, yeah, you're getting rejected, and you said you had a 1 in 100 ratio. I don't know what you are. You did not pick a stack. Right? Like, Python and HTML is actually part of it, but I'm looking down here, and I don't see enough. I assume you're a Python dev. So what I'd be looking for in a Python developer, which I'm, again, making the assumption that you are, because you need to pick a stack. That is the biggest advice, and there are people, right? Like, right now, you're probably like, Lee, you're absolutely incorrect. This is how you can do this. It doesn't matter what you can do. It doesn't. It matters what they're looking for. I do not write the rules. I just tell people what the rules are and how you can actually bypass them by creating your resume correctly, or follow them, I guess would be more accurate. So this is what we need for a Python developer. Python, SQL, Docker, Cloud, RESTful APIs, Agile, Git, CI/CD, and one of those, whatever, and a bonus for Kubernetes, MongoDB, Java, etc. So, what do I find here? Still absolutely none of that. I find CI, but that's not CI/CD. I think they may make the assumption that it's at least half a point for that, but they may not. Again, Java is different than JavaScript, so CI might be too different from CI/CD. That is a different thing. I do know that's part of the continuous integration, continuous development, but the recruiter may not know that part. And it also is that maybe they need the CD more than the CI. So, yeah, this resume is almost blank. Like, you have 1 or 2 things, but that's it. This is your best sentence, and even then, that's really nothing. Like, you only say Python and HTML. I need you to write it here. I need you to write migrated a database using Python, SQL, HTML, Git, and CI/CD, right? And then used Kubernetes, NumPy, machine learning, and DevOps, or Fast API Flask and Django to create a ETL, MongoDB, whatever, right? This is what I need. This has nothing of it. So it's good that you have done some projects, but it's not relevant to what they're looking for. I mean, maybe there's a specific software engineer database role, but It's rarer, and I don't know of it off the top of my head. Is it you are going to pick one of those 5 stacks if you are a new grad? That is the most likely chance you are going to get a job. Let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a machine learning engineer. So I don't need to repeat it. This person has the same qualifications as the first person in this video, and looking at this out of the corner of my eye, this is an abomination, but they also dox themselves, so I can't scroll past this. So can I find it in 20 seconds? Let's find out. Probably not. Go. Alright, useless, built-in landmark ASL record. What does that mean? Why do I care about that? Where's the actual machine learning? I literally see no AI here. Again, can't use this. Cannot use this. Okay, neural network. What? What is this? Okay. Did this person write me anything? No. Well, this is a terrible resume. Don't make your resume like this. I kind of wish this was the first one of the video, only so I could use this as a thumbnail, because this is a nightmare. Okay, so I haven't gone over it this video, but formatting-wise, you want your resume to look like this, okay? Lee, you may ask me, why is this so ugly? Oh, this looks so basic and boring. I want to wow you. Well, this is how you wow us, by being basic and boring. We do not like spice in our resumes. We like basic, boring, governmental form resumes. And this, while being physically ugly, is great for reading further on in it and finding what we recruiters need. So how to do that is on my website. The link is below. This is how you do it. But this is easy to read. This is... I don't even know what this is. But even when I'm digging into it, I don't see anything I need. Because remember, you cannot use a technology section. You cannot use a skills section. I cannot use anything there. Nor can I use anything in here. There are very specific reasons you would want a summary, and most people are not going to need those unless you are relocating. If you are relocating or explaining a visa, then you may want a summary. So I just have nothing here. Like, I'm not looking for 476 MS mobile 4.8 M Paramas. I'm not. I'm currently hunting for AI engineers for startups. None of them would want this. If I presented this to the manager, they would come back and be like, what? Why is this? I don't even know this is a LLM person, right? We don't even know this. The only thing that even hints to machine learning is the fact that you have neural networks, which that's kind of it. Is there literally anything? Yeah, you need to trash this resume and start again. There's literally nothing in here that is really going to be helping you. You need to make it like this. You need to have this stuff. I need you to focus on the basics. It doesn't matter that you cured world hunger. I'm sorry. If I'm looking for a machine learning engineer and you did not cure world hunger with machine learning, I'm going to pass you over for somebody that created a burger counting app because it had a higher user base, but also because they wrote what they did with it. Although I will, in the phone call, ask them what the user base was, because that is pretty important. But you don't need it in the resume. That's for the phone call. So, yeah, don't write your resume like that. There's literally nothing there I'd want. So, let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a software engineer intern full stack. Except, weirdly enough, for interns, unless you're a master's or a PhD, you actually don't need to pick a stack. I know that sounds weird because I keep telling people to pick a stack, but for specifically internships, you don't need to. Once you get your first full-time role, once you're applying to that role, you need to pick a stack for a software engineer. But for an intern, unless you're a master's or a PhD, you're an intern, right? It doesn't matter. You're going to be doing a lot of different stuff. So what we're looking for in an intern is your degree, a basic knowledge of the tech stack. In this case, it would be full stack because that's what you mentioned, so I'm assuming that's what's mostly here. But, you know, it could also be Python backend or whatever, which is just going to be like a language or two, the library, SQL, cloud, very basic stuff, RESTful API, nothing crazy. Then I need to see that you have the ability to work well with others and that you can take direction and criticism. For an intern, those are huge. In fact, if you have the bare bones basic tech stack, but you can show you are pleasant to work with through your resume, you will probably get moved forward. So let's see if I can find it in 20 seconds. And go. Okay, this is a nightmare. Can't use anything here. Developed an integration for big... I don't care about that, but I don't care about that because that might not be AWS. S3, maybe I'd know, but AWS is fine. Node.js is good. ETL, don't really care. RESTful APIs is solid. Don't care about ingest in time. Nothing. You already have good tech stack, but where's the rest of the people? And you have agile. So yeah, you have, I would say, probably enough tech. I think that's solid. Maybe you want to add a little bit of a library or something. Well, I guess you have the Node.js. You need SQL, but beyond that, a bigger problem is that, well, A, your formatting is awful and you have a lot of unnecessary information, but you do not tell me how you can work well with others. Every intern tries to say, I'm a leader. We're not looking for leaders. We're looking for followers. Why would you hire an intern that is the CEO of a company? You don't. You hire an intern that is fresh out of college, that has done some projects that may or may not be cool, that is good to work with, so you can teach them the ins and outs of the business. That is what you do with an intern. Especially for a bachelor's. Again, once you get to master's and PhD level interns, sometimes it gets a little bit weirder in what they're looking for and more specific. But I don't see how you can work well with me. And that is pretty critical because interns can sometimes crash out. Sometimes when people get their first job, they're not expecting it. They do some crazy stuff. They may film and post private information online. Plenty of people have gotten fired for that by posting stuff on like TikTok and YouTube. They may crash out because they have not been told they are incorrect before. Regardless of whether they actually are incorrect, you still need to be able to handle a situation like that. So your tech level is fine, right? You're not getting rejected because you don't know enough tech. You're getting rejected because you don't show how you can work well with others and take direction and criticism as an intern. And you're formatting and you have too much extraneous information. So, again, I don't care about 80% code coverage. I care that you met weekly with other engineers where they criticized your code and you implemented feedback based on that. That's what I care about. So, this is relatively short because you do have the tech stuff, but you don't have enough of working well or with other people. Again, maybe you did it extra. No, again, yeah, there's nothing else here that shows that. Or at least I would be able to easily find, which is also part of the issue. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. If you ever need more help, join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And please like, comment, and subscribe. Show your friends that need help with their job search. I will be glad to help them because I'm here to help you get ahead of your job search.